we have this brief window of opportunity as a human. You know, there are 6 realms, and it's only really the human realm where we have a really strong, really clear opportunity to use our conditions. I mean, not all humans have the conditions, but we have got good health, a fair amount of wealth, good conditions, peace and quiet. We can practice purifying the mind, removing the poisons, removing the obstructions, removing what is known as, in Sanskrit, it's known as the kleshas. Kleshas means defilements of mind. You didn't put them there. They were put there by the past lives, you know, animal rebirths. For example, if you were an animal in the past life, you were either a predator or prey. If you were a predator, of course, you've killed and you have got a very selfish, you've got selfish propensities, defilements on your mind stream now of survival. You know, all animals have this survival instinct. It's fight or fly, predator or prey. And so we have all got that in our mind stream now. And we shouldn't feel that it's a personal fault because you didn't create it. We say your past lives, your future lives, but until you become Buddha, until you become a bodhisattva and you have some kind of very pure mind and clairvoyance, you can't know your past lives, you can't know your future lives. But when you get to that level, fully enlightened Buddha, for example, not only does a fully enlightened Buddha know all of his past lives, but he also knows everyone else's past lives. Every single being he ever meets, he knows all the past lives. And sometimes, very often, when he needed to prove to someone that he knew, you know, he was showing, to increase someone's faith, you know, this is very helpful to be able to impress someone so that they can gain faith in the Dharma. Buddha would tell them something about their childhood, that not only something that the person knew, but it's just so in such detail as well. It's not really true religious practice, but it's just some of the gifts that when you purify your mind, you obviously, as I keep saying, the pure mind is the omniscient mind. It's not the small, selfish mind imprisoned by the defilements. Suddenly, it's the same mind as everyone. It's the basis of all reality. And so everyone you meet, you can help them because you can see their delusions. You can't remove them. You know, there's no, a Lama, these Khenpos, these great masters, they have these gifts, but they still can't put their hand in your mind and remove your defilements for you. But they can tell you what practices to do. They can tell you what actions to avoid. They can tell you exactly what you're doing with your mind on a daily basis, which is increasing. It's like putting wood on a fire, you know, we're feeding certain fires, and those fires burn us. But we, at the moment, think those fires keep us warm, but they're dangerous. We are feeding pride. We are feeding jealousy. So you think now individually your faults, what you think, because we have 3 ways of acting, you know, body, speech, and mind. And if I say to you now, what negative action of body have you done lately? Probably nothing, probably not much. You can't think of anything. But if I now say to you, what negative action of speech have you done lately? You can think of something you've said to someone about someone, something that you shouldn't have said, but you know. And then if I say to you, what have you thought lately that you shouldn't have thought? It's judgmental, you know, not bad things. There's so many. When we get onto the mind level, we're doing selfish thoughts all the time, thinking things because we think no one knows. You know, it's silent, it's just personal, it's secret, no one knows. But the mind actually records everything. That is why the fully enlightened Buddha, and when you all become fully enlightened Buddhas, you will know all your future, all your past lives, all the way back. There's certain levels on the way to Buddhahood, 10 levels, which we call bodhisattva levels, and those bodhisattvas, they can remember a certain amount of way, certain amount of hundreds, and then thousands, and then tens of thousands, and then millions of lifetimes. but only a Buddha can remember all of them because the mind is purer. And when you can remember your past lives, you'll be able to work out exactly, how this happened, why you were born there, but then this happened to you in that lifetime. You'll be able to work out everything because you can see, because every single action of every single past life has been recorded by what we call the ground consciousness. The American term is the storehouse consciousness. And it's called the storehouse consciousness because it's a very subtle mind at the base of what we call the 8 consciousnesses of mind. Basically, the mind has 8 aspects. Buddha classified it into 8 sections. And the basic one is the ground consciousness, and it stores everything that's ever happened in our mind stream as impressions, propensities. And you can look back through them when you gain access to it, the subtle mind, the pure mind. And that's why you can't get away with, what you're doing in your daily life. If you're thinking something negative, you are planting seeds in the ground. That's why it's called the ground consciousness, because it's like the earth. You plant a seed and then eventually it grows and ripens. And the fruit can be medicinal or it can be poisonous. It's up to you. What you're doing with your mind, what you're doing with your speech, what you're doing with your body is planting seeds. It's all recorded in the ground consciousness. And in the future, what is planted there and what the seed can be either destroyed using the antidote, or it will ripen. That's the only 2 choices. It will grow, and then you have to experience the fruit of your action. It's up to you. What I mean by it's up to you is, first of all, it's up to you what seeds you plant. So it's up to you how you act. That is why all the religions tell you to not engage in negative actions of body, speech, and mind. Don't say it. Don't do anything negative, harmful to others. Don't say anything negative, harmful to others. Don't think anything negative, harmful to others, and then you won't plant the seeds. But, as I've said, since beginning this time, we have been born so many times, and obviously other animal rebirths and all sorts of places, these 6 realms, we have done many, many things according to survival. And those actions have planted, they are obviously many negative actions, selfish actions, and they've planted, those seeds are still in our continuum. And so what we do with the practices, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, the point of these 3 paths is to destroy the seeds before they ripen. So we have got seeds in our mental continuum, in our ground consciousness, and unless we destroy them, they will grow, they will ripen when the conditions are right, just like a seed now. I don't know if any of you are gardeners, but and I'm not. But this is a Dharma. You can tell me whether this is correct or not. I'm sure it is because it's from the Dharma texts. And what it says is, if you keep a seed in a matchbox, a dry matchbox with no conditions, no water, no soil, no light, it will never sprout. It will just remain a seed. So our mental continuum has these seeds at the moment like that. They do not have the conditions to ripen. So you might be thinking now, what are these conditions that ripen these seeds then? One of the classic conditions which ripen these seeds is fear at the point of death. And this is it sounds like the most ridiculous stitch up, doesn't it? Because everyone is going to be frightened, but we must try not to be, because that fear, obviously it's selfish, because you're worried about yourself. And the truth is there's no such thing as the self. So it's a completely irrational, crazy mind. But that irrational fear, based on the idea of self, which is, fundamentally the ignorance, causes these so many seeds to suddenly ripen. that is the rain and the light that the seed has been waiting for, that deep selfish fear, that because it's, and it's just at that point where the mind is at its most kind of open. As when we die, we get a chance to experience the loveliest, subtle, pure truth mind. It really is the purest, that's why many people talk about heaven, etc., etc.